But with that being said, guys, we can move along to the next fight here. And this one's going down in the preliminaries. It's going to be a 265-pound bout, and it's Junior, the Juggernaut, Tafa, taking on Valter, the Clean Monster, Walker. What is that, just like a anti-USADA crusade? Like, hey, guys, don't even test me. I'm clean. Trust me. Shout out to Thomas in the chat, says, Prates KO or Leech moneyline. Carlos doesn't win minutes. He has devastating moments. Fair play. Even the ends by KO might be a similar price. I would look at that because I think that opens you up to some Leech moneyline equity as well. My guy Cashville Rican says, gang, happy Tuesday. Hit the like button and show the homie Liam your support. I appreciate that sentiment, guys. If you haven't already, drop a like on this video. If you guys are new here, welcome aboard. Get subscribed to the channel. We're talking fights here each and every week. We gave you some great content on the Contender Series for this week, on the channel. And also, we're here breaking down UFC 305, which we will be doing again later in the week. So if you're looking for betting content, in-depth analysis, information, talk about these fights, and you want to be a part of the sharpest chat in the game, make sure you get subscribed. Ding that bell for notifications as well. We got a lot of people that say, Liam, I missed your live. I didn't know you were going live. My schedule is a little bit hectic, right? I can't be perfect in terms of planning out these events. I do try my best to stick to pretty routine schedules in terms of nighttime, Monday or Tuesday for the first look. Thursday, it's either 3 in the afternoon or a little bit later on Thursday afternoons for bets and banter. 9 out of 10 weeks. But if you guys want to never miss a live as we get started, just ring that bell for notifications. And then if you're not around or not interested, no problem. It's not going to be, a nuisance for you. But then you just won't say to me, hey, Liam, I missed the start of the live chat. You'll know, hey, we just got started. So now we're starting with the prelims, guys. We're talking about this heavyweight matchup. We got heavy hitters like Champ Betts, Jimbo, Mbe, Thomas, Cashville Rican. We got all these heavy hitters in the sharpest chat in the game. If you guys have thoughts, comments, questions, concerns on these prelim fights, why don't you get them rolling? Because we're starting with this one, and it's an even money fight, right? It's a fight where you've got minus 110 approximately on either side. You've got a redemption spot for Valter Walker. A lot of people thought he deserved the win in that UFC debut. I think a lot of them bet on him as well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm just being a dick. But you look, and a lot of people thought he had an argument for winning his last fight. And I don't think they're crazy, right? I think you look at Valter Walker, and he went out there, and did I score the fight for him? No, I did not. I scored the fight for his opponent there. But he definitely went out there and put on an honest performance. He got outstruck 58-33 against Luca, but he did have 4 takedowns, and he also landed 56 total strikes over the course of that fight. He had 7 minutes and 19 seconds of control time. I think the problem for Valter Walker was simple, and it can be distilled down to one stat. He went 8 of 9 on ground strikes, right? Significant ground strikes, despite having 7 minutes and 19 seconds of control time. This guy just needs to be more active on top. He needs to take a little bit more risk. He needs to be a little bit more assertive because he's got the physical gifts. He's got the ability to get on top. And if you're not going to leverage that for maximum efficiency, you're going to give guys opportunities to get back up, and you're not going to finish the fight. And you're going to spend a lot of energy wrestling early, so you're not going to have the energy to keep up with the guy on the feet. And I think that ultimately that was his biggest problem in his UFC debut. But he's 26 years of age, and he's got guys around him, Bogdan Guskov, his brother, Johnny Walker, guys that are UFC level, guys that are quality light heavyweights. And they may not be the best in the world, but they're top 25, they're top 30, right? They're top guys, and he's going to get to work with them all the time. Meanwhile, you got the Tafa brothers, and they definitely have, some, public appeal, and people like them, and they're fun guys, but they're not very good, right? Muhammad Usman's a very average fighter, and he's a guy that his wrestling and grappling is pretty average, right? Like, it's fine. It's good. It's not terrible. He's just physically strong. He can hold guys to the mat. Most of the fights he's had in the UFC, he had to rely on his hands, on the feet. He was able to take Tafa down, though. Right. And against Marcos Oshieria de Lima, he didn't even have to shoot takedowns. He just beat the shit out of his leg, right? And just tortured him essentially, and could have gotten more takedowns, I feel, if he wanted to as well. And you look at the Parker Porter fight, I thought that was a setup, right? They give Parker Porter to the Tafa brothers to go out there and get embarrassed and cleaned up. And it's nothing personal against Parker. It's just he's an older guy. He's a guy who's a little bit stocky, a guy who maybe his takedowns aren't what they once were. And so he's probably stuck on the feet with these kids that are faster, longer, hit harder, want to be there more. And that's not very advantageous for him, right? But that's been the UFC run for these guys. And meanwhile, had canceled bouts. He had to withdraw from a bout with Carl Williams. His brother stepped in to take the whooping for him instead. He had an injury in a scheduled bout with Waldo Cortez Acosta as well. So I think that what you look and have to say to yourself ultimately is, what exactly is Tafa good at? Which is that he's got some power in his hands. He knows how to kickbox a little bit. I think what he's bad at is defending takedowns. And I see a lot of people on Tapology, 77% of voters are picking Tafa in this fight. And I'm a little bit surprised by that, because what you see is last time out, everybody was thinking Valter Walker was easy money. I remember because I bet on Lukasz Brzeski and I told people I didn't think so. Right. And people told me I was crazy at the time. And if you go back and look at that fight, guys, 93% of Tapology voters picked Lukasz Brzeski to be defeated by Valter Walker. I wrote up in my article why I thought Lukasz Brzeski was going to win the fight. And now you're looking at a spot where 77% of people say that Tafa, a guy who's like 5-1 as a pro, a little bit older. So he's the older guy with less pro experience, and he's much smaller in height, reach, and weight. He's going to go out there and beat this guy, even though this guy knows how to wrestle and he doesn't. It's like, I don't know. It seems to me like, if anybody should be favored here, it's Valter Walker, because he's got way more upside to get on top. So I just think he's going to have pretty easy opportunities to get on top of this guy. Valter is a big guy, but he's so hittable. I don't like his cardio. Yeah, I don't love his cardio, but I mean, you have to have resistance to get tired, right? If he can just go out there and barrel into this guy and take him over and over again, I don't think he's going to get very tired, frankly. In non-polite speak, Tafa suck is what you're saying. Tafa should be fighting Ty. They could swing and bang at least for some entertainment. Tafa is KO or bust, which I like to fade, especially at even money. Valter Walker just survived one round and you should be good. I tend to agree. There he is, my man. I appreciate you being here. One of the sharpest in the game. Shout out to YBB. Shout out to everything that they're doing over there. YBB Sports. Go check them out, guys. Great people that I believe in. But in any case, again, we're looking at two guys here, both young prospects. I understand why it's a closely lined fight. I'm going to refer to the best available odds right now, and they're on fight numbers, right? -120, Circus Sportsbook. That's Junior Tafa. +115, the plus money comeback on Valter Walker. I think this is a live underdog. I think this is a low-level fight. So, yeah, he could get knocked out, but frankly, I just could definitely see a world in which Tafa gets put on his ass early and often. And if Walker has any kind of game planning in this fight, he could pass the guard. He could get on top of him in bad positions. He might even be able to finish him, frankly. So I don't think that Tafa or Walker is very good, but I think Walker is more experienced and has a clearer path to victory. So I think he's going to win the fight.